This is my sixth video on these inner tubes, and I'm only posting there if I've got some sort of update. I think I've got an update in three things about it. I said previously that my electric pump was having difficulty pumping it up, but I think now it's because of this. It's just there's not enough of a gap there, and it's maybe not clinching on right, and so I can't pump this up fully with my adapter on my electric pump, but I can with my manual pump. But even my manual pump sort of hangs off in a weird way. So I might be talking rubbish, but I feel this, I can feel air around about this when I'm pumping it up, and I can only get to about 20 psi with that. Whereas you should get to 120 or something, but with this I can pump it right up, but it sort of hangs off at the side. But so a manual pump will be alright. I also said I suspect they lose air like latex tubes do, over the week. So you won't notice it when you're out cycling, but over a week it might go down, say 20 psi or whatever, I'm still not sure about that, but I don't think so now because, like I just told you about the problem with the pump on the valve, it might be that, really. But I'm going to try this anyway. I set this at 80 psi last week, so I'll try it now and see. I mean, it's a week later and it still feels pretty high, but maybe not 80. Yeah, after a week it's down to about just under 60, which is not an issue for me, but I don't know for others. And there's my valve, it's not really fitting right on the pump. Also, they're very poor quality valves, I think, I think this bit gets in the way of this plastic, but even the valve itself, you just touch it and it lets air out. The connection here's not very good either. I mean, they give you a plastic O-ring really to put in place, but still alright though. My back tyre's wider at 32mm. Let's see what that's like. Still pretty high anyway. It was at 80. Well, it's just over 60, say about 65 or something, so that's not bad for a week. I'm alright with that. It's sort of hanging off again. So the valves in these I think are pretty poor quality, and I would call that a design flaw really, that's going right up there. I don't know if that's metal through there, I don't think it is, just maybe at the top. I see there's a new one out that's it's all metal, all the way down, and it looks a bit more secure at the bottom here. This is race formula, I don't know about them yet, but I think that's the way it's going to go, maybe, the market. And the other thing I talked about was a high-speed vertical wobble, like a clown bike, which I didn't mind because it wasn't that bad. And it seemed weird because the better the road was, the worse it seemed to be. And I'm wondering if it's that. But I don't really know. But it seems to have gone away for me now, really. I've done about another 30 miles or something, I'd say. No, only about 10 miles of that on the road, but I didn't really notice it that much this time. And I'm wondering if it's sort of deflating and inflating for these videos. It's sort of made it go into its position correctly, because sometimes I had that with Butyl ones that if I had a wobble or something, I would deflate it and inflate it again and it would seem to be alright. So I don't know if I'm just getting used to it or if it's totally gone. So, but the wobble doesn't seem to be much of an issue for me now. I don't know if that wobble would be just this brand or the cheaper brands, or, if it's right across TPU. I don't think so. Hope not. According to Google Bard, Tubulito were the ones who sort of started TPU tubes, and they're sort of the Teslas of TPU tubes at the moment, but they're quite expensive, So I don't know if they have any of these issues. I certainly hope not. There's another brand called Ride Now, which isn't much more dearer than this. But I've been looking at this market over the last week or something, and it looks as if there's a new style coming in that's got totally metallic valve, like you get in the Butyls really. So, and also it looks more structured here where it connects. So I don't know if that's the way the whole market's going to go, but there you go. Apart from that, which are minor things for me, I think it's fantastic. And I've not tried tubeless wheels, but for me, the negatives outweigh the benefits of tubeless wheels. I think you're getting nearly the same rolling resistance, and it feels like it's more sensitive than Butyl, that I feel every sort of bump, even especially on newer tarmac, which was a surprise. But here, I'm going to try my electric pump, but it doesn't really blow up the way that I want it to. So I'll stop using it for this. Maybe you just have to make sure that it's definitely on, but you've got to take a lot more care than... I'll see if there's any air coming from there. No, I can't feel any. And there you can see that thing. I'm wondering if that causes a wobble, I don't know. This was on the back tire, I think. Even with that just on, you can hear it leaking, because of the poor valve. Yeah, so it looks a bit weird, but so do Butyls as well. Not as bad as that though, I don't think. I think this valve is still leaking, even just like that. Here's an old decathlon Butyl, I think. But this is like 8 grams heavier, 90 grams. They're a lot easier to get on and off than Butyl because they're slippy and they're ultra slim, These ones are ultra lightweight. I think they're about 28 grams or something. It still depends on the tyre and the wheel though, I guess. There's my valve pump hanging off again. I wonder if they slip or anything, but I don't think so. Feel great to me, actually. I really, it's like having extra suspension. Yeah, in fact, possibly even the higher you go, the better the suspension. Don't quote me on that though. Like I say, the first 4 times I tried this, I was in 20 psi. I thought I was in about 60 or something. The last one I was about 60, and this one I was 80 when I was out. Yeah, it felt great. I think for ordinary cyclists, the ideal thing rather than tubeless. That's just my opinion, because tubeless, you've got to put sealant in and all this sort of stuff. But Butyl, there are big improvement in Butyl. Even in rolling resistance, you can feel them being zippy. You get, especially when you just move away. You get used to it, so. But yeah, I don't see a future for Butyl at all. But according to Google Bard, there's still a big future for Butyl. To me, this is all the supposed benefits of tubeless, but I would say even more beneficial. And these at the moment in eBay are around about £7.50 for one. Ride Now is another popular one. That's about £12 at the moment on eBay. Look at how small they are as well. You can get that in your bag easily. As I say, I think there's a sort of newer type coming on the market now that's got an all metal valve, and it's got various brand names. I see one ZTTO at the moment on eBay. It's about £8, or I think you can get it even cheaper than that. But you should also look at Temu for cheap stuff, cheap TPU tubes. Alright guys, that's it then. I'm ultra happy, despite all these. Maybe there's better ones there, for a couple of pound more. But whatever, I think TPU is the future for most cyclists, apart from those who decide to go tubeless. I don't think there's any future for Butyl, really, in my opinion. Or latex, which the professionals used to like. I think they've all went tubeless, really. But I think this is a common sense one, all round. Yeah, the valves are fiddly and let out air really easy. Oh yeah, and I've been over tons of gravel, sheep grills and stuff like that, and there's no sign of a puncture. even at 20 psi over a sheet drill, no punch flat or anything. I feel really confident in them. I feel more confident than butyl puncture wise. So yeah, on that, I'll rate them highly. I suspect they're the best type for puncture proofness. And then in terms of lightness compared to tubeless, I think they're probably lighter because tubeless you've got to add the sealant and all that, the weight of the sealant. Not just up here or around here, down there as well and that. It dries out, you've got to change it. So in terms of lightness, I think these are probably the best. And also, I think Tubulito have their ultralight as a sort of premium offering, whereas the cheaper ones all seem to be ultralight. You know, they're down under 30 grams, a lot of them. And I think it's just because they're just saving money, you know, they're saving money on this material really, I suppose. I think Tubulito are currently about £28 for one on eBay. One thing about these, it says from width 18 to 32 millimeters, which seems pretty wide. The other ones don't go as wide. Tubulito are like from 18 to 28. Well, that's almost, not quite. But I wonder if that wideness has anything to do with the wobble, you know. I don't think so. I think this wheel's about 25 wide. So I don't know. The newer ones I've looked at seem to be like sort of 18 to 25 and then 25 to 32 or whatever, you know. You could check Temu as well, which is like eBay, but currently I see these at around about £6.48 is the cheapest. So it's a bit cheaper than eBay, I think, but not much. So yeah, Temu, you won't get any well-known branded stuff there, but you know, it's worth a look. Temu, Temu. But it looks like there's not much difference with eBay in the case of TPU tubes. Breaking news, I punctured it, refitting it, because it sort of gets in the way when you're refitting it. And when I had the lever in, I must have pinched it. So yeah, that's my first puncture on a TPU tube. So yeah, when you're refitting them, you need to watch it, you know. Yeah, well, or even fitting them, you know, at any time. Yeah, it's a pin. I'll probably hit the lever with it, but it's just came as a pin. So I can fix that easy at least. And it's also good that you can mark these easy. I endorse shiny bright colours. I'll be using TPU patches, but I have read someone just using the ordinary ones, you know, for butyl. Helpful.